The Detroit Lions are the next New England Patriots. Here's why. So I did this type of video a long time ago on my old channel, but now I kind of want to bring it back. The Detroit Lions are the next New England Patriots, and they're not going to be exactly the same team, nothing like that, but mostly the success is what we're going to share. We're going to share some of that dang success because we haven't had it. And the Detroit Lions are doing so many things through the offseason that the New England Patriots do. They're taking players from the New England Patriots. We're basically becoming the Patriots 2.0 or something like that. But it should lead to success. You would hope it leads to success. And I'm going to get into a few reasons why the Detroit Lions are really turning into the New England Patriots that we see today. Now, like I said, not everything's exact, so it's not like we have the exact same type of players. Matthew Stafford is not like Tom Brady. We don't have the exact same type of players. I think we actually have more talented players. You could make the case, though, that Tom Brady's still the best quarterback of all time. So that kind of cancels out what Matthew Stafford does. Kind of unfortunate because Matthew Stafford's great, but Tom Brady's the best of all time. So you can't really compare those, even with the age. You can't. But anyways, let's get right into it. And the first reason the Detroit Lions are the next Patriots is simply because of former Patriots. The Detroit Lions brought in multiple Patriots from the past. The three main ones they brought in: Trey Flowers, Justin Coleman, and Danny Amendola. This is actually a comment that I saw in my last video. And okay, yes, obviously this is true, but as I thought about it, I'm like, dang, we really did. Most of our free agents we brought in at some point were with the New England Patriots. So that's what we did here. Now, some people would like to say, well, that's a problem, they're too old. The Patriots always get rid of players when you're too early. And I think you could try to make that case with Danny Amendola. He had a solid season, though, with Miami. One of his better seasons actually came in Miami because he was a bigger part of that offense. I don't think you can really make that argument with Trey Flowers. He's only like 26 years old. And Justin Coleman, once again, not an old cornerback. So I don't think the arguments really fit there. But either way, we're bringing in former Patriots that have been there. Why are we bringing in former Patriots? Because for most teams, you bring in former Patriots, they don't work as well. Like, I can't remember what they call it, but they call it something where you bring in a former Patriot, they don't play the same hype. And it's like, what the heck happened? Well, usually because the coaching is different. They usually don't coach the same. But the Detroit Lions, defensively, coach nearly the same type of way. And offensively, they coach very similar. Defensively, obviously, they're going to coach very much the same over the last few years the Patriots have, because the Patriots defensive coordinator is now our head coach. So they're going to coach very similar defensively, and that's a really good thing for us. So we can go bring in defensive players that came from the Patriots, and they'll work because they're running the same type of system. Now, this is not a one-way street. We've also given the Patriots a lot of players, and one of those guys named Kyle Van Noy, who's kind of a bust for us, it seemed like, and then he won a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. Things just happen like that. That was before Matt Patricia era and everything like that, so maybe it wouldn't have happened. Maybe he wouldn't have been gone then, but that's just how that worked out. But either way, we're bringing in former Patriots, and they should actually work compared to how it works for other teams because we have a similar coaching system. Also, it wasn't even this offseason that the Detroit Lions were doing this. They were doing this last offseason. Like, Matt Patricia's first year, they were bringing in former New England Patriots. One of those guys named LeGarrette Blount, and now obviously he didn't work out. I think that's one of the guys you could definitely make the argument. We got LeGarrette Blount, but he definitely lost a step. He was really good with the Patriots, but we got him probably a little bit too late into his career. It was kind of an older running back. I don't know if that was the best signing. Now we bring in C.J. Anderson, who seems to be a better fit. He seems to still have his step, though. Next up, we have similar play styles. Now, this is very similar to what I was kind of saying, but we have similar play styles to what the New England Patriots do. And the biggest one, offensively, is the two tight end play style. That's something that a lot of people have been asking. Can the Detroit Lions have the same success that the Patriots have had with two tight ends? We see the two tight ends all the time with the New England Patriots. In the past, two tight ends for the New England Patriots is like their thing, okay? Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez. Like, that was a popular thing. They had two really good tight ends, and they had a lot of success with it because both the guys were solid blockers, but they could both catch really well. And with the Detroit Lions, same type of situation here. We got a great tight end, T.J. Hockenson, that can do both. We have Jesse James, who's a great receiving threat. Now, his blocking is not on par with T.J. Hockenson, but he's still a solid blocker. So that's what we have with our two tight ends that we brought in this offseason compared to what they have. You have to think, last season, our tight ends were not that great. And you can make the case, okay, Jim Bob Cooter is the problem, and you definitely could say that. Okay, I can completely understand why you would say that. But this year, it just looks like our top two tight ends are more talented. Bean Lolo and Luke Wilson versus T.J. Hockenson and Jesse James. I think I would have took T.J. Hockenson, Jesse James every single time. So they bring those two guys in. They pretty much revamped the whole tight end group. They bring in Logan Thomas. That wasn't the only guy, right? They bring in Logan Thomas. They let go of Michael Roberts. All the other guys are out. They bring some new guys in. So that's the biggest similarity. Can the Detroit Lions have success there? And it seems like they have the right offense coordinator to finally do that. Again, you can make the case that Jim Bob Cooter was the problem, but either way, we didn't have the right offensive coordinator for that. Like, we didn't have it. We didn't have an offense coordinator that loved to utilize the tight ends, and he was very good at it. No, but Darrell Bevell likes to do that. Darrell Bevell likes to have the run game, and he also likes to utilize the tight end. So we brought Matthew Stafford to tight end. Matthew Stafford has never had a tight end like these guys, and he's never had a great tight end before. You can make the case that Eric Ebron was great. Again, Jim Bob Cooter kind of messed that up. But also, you have to say that Eric Ebron, even though Eric Ebron is good now, he wasn't outstanding with the Detroit Lions. He made a lot of mistakes. So I can't really fault the Detroit Lions for deciding to move on from Eric Ebron. I would have loved to keep him. That was always my thought. I would have loved to keep Eric Ebron because, this dude had the whole package. This dude was fast, he was athletic, and, when he caught the ball, he would make a lot of plays. Problem is, he dropped the ball a lot of times. And that's a big problem when you are a receiving threat. That's just something that you really can't do. So with that being said, the Detroit Lions move on from Eric Ebron, which I can't fault them for doing, but obviously he goes to the Colts and looks great. I think it just makes what they did look worse, but I don't think it was that bad of a move. Now they bring in all these new tight ends, because last year when we moved on from Eric Ebron, it was like, oh crap, we got to get some tight ends in here. So Luke Wilson, Levine Toilolo, Michael Robert, that was our options. They weren't great options, but again, Jim Bob Cooter could be the fault. So now we have that new offensive coordinator, right? And that offensive coordinator is very similar to what the Patriots have in New England, okay? The Patriots love to establish the run game, and that's what the Detroit Lions tried to do last season. Even though they weren't great at it, they tried to do it. It wasn't always working, but we tried to establish it because knowing that in 2019, that would be something that we were going to do anyway, so we might as well learn how to do it because Kerryon Johnson was going to be around. Our offensive line was mostly, the whole thing was going to stay the same. Other than TJ Lane retiring, everything was going to stay the same, same fullback, everything. So now you have to say, okay, let's make sure we can do this now. And in 2019, when we bring in some pieces, we add some talent to the mix. When we run the ball, it should be successful. And that's what the Detroit Lions are going to do in 2019. They're going to establish the run game. They're going to control time of possession. They're going to utilize the 2 tight end sets. That's not going to take away from wide receivers because that's one thing the Detroit Lions have that really the Patriots don't. And that is the wide receiving talent. Now, you can make a case that Julian Edelman is better than Kenny Galladay. I wouldn't try to make that case, but you can go for it. Either way, our top 2 wide receivers, when healthy, are better than the Patriots. Again, though, the Patriots have a guy named Tom Brady, so that it's kind of not fair, Anyways, that's the second reason the Detroit Lions are going to be very, very similar. And not to mention, like I said before, the defense. Obviously, the defense is very similar. Matt Patricia was their defense coordinator. Now he's our head coach. It's going to be a very similar play style. That's why the players will do fine here in Detroit. And next up, the staff. This is an obvious one, but our staff is just like the Patriots. And some of these guys are exactly from the Patriots. Bob Quinn, Matt Patricia. You come from the Patriots, now you're with the Detroit Lions. So obviously, we're going to run the same type of stuff. Now, we brought in different staff guys, like Darrell Bevell, who wasn't with the Patriots, but they're different staff players, right? They moved on from some other guys. They moved on from actually multiple coaches, which, some of them are so small you don't really know their names. So I don't know everybody's name, but they've moved on from a lot of coaches, brought in a lot of new ones. But the 2 main ones are Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. They were with the Patriots. Now they're with the Detroit Lions. So it's obvious they're going to play a very similar way that the New England Patriots did. And then fourth, and not least at all, just watching them. It's the eye test, okay? Everybody talks about the eye test. You could get the eye test last season that the Detroit Lions were playing very similar to the Patriots and not necessarily the Detroit Lions of the past. Biggest example of all, the biggest example that you can get on that the Detroit Lions were playing similar to the Patriots, because you might want to say, no, they weren't, but they were. Here's the biggest example. When the New England Patriots were in the playoffs, they said that they used what the Detroit Lions did versus the Rams to slow them down as their game plan to beat the Rams. The Detroit Lions played a heck of a game versus the Rams because they knew. Matt Patricia knew. Matt Patricia is a genius. Let me just say that. Matt Patricia is an absolute genius. He is a rocket scientist, literally. But defensively, he knew. He drew up a plan. And this is why I love Matt Patricia, right? Because I feel like other coordinators were kind of just doing the same thing. Oh, that worked. Let's just do it again versus the next team. You kind of have to adjust. And then we sometimes we wouldn't even adjust. It was why are we doing the exact same thing? Matt Patricia seems to adjust. Whether it works or doesn't, something else is going to change. If we're getting smacked, something's going to change. And it may make it worse, but something's going to change. But every single week going into the game, the Detroit Lions had a game plan, and it was always different, and I love that. It always was suited to the team that they were playing. Like I said, sometimes it didn't work, but other times it really did. And versus the Rams, we didn't have firepower. If we literally just could have scored a few touchdowns, we should have beat the Rams. And the Rams were in the Super Bowl, but we should have beat the Rams. We were right there. There were multiple good teams that we could have beat. We beat the Patriots. But when Bill Belichick said that he used what the Detroit Lions used against the Rams to beat the Rams in the Super Bowl, It was an obvious point that they were just taking what the Detroit Lions did because Matt Patricia, he knew how this stuff worked. He's like, I have a game plan to stop the Rams. And it worked. We were down 16-13 in the fourth quarter. Unfortunately, we had a strip sack and they scored a touchdown. That ended it. But other than that, I mean, if it didn't come to that strip sack, we had a chance to win the game. We had multiple drop pick sixes. Like we just dropped the ball, but we were locking up. We didn't have firepower. We didn't score. You can blame that on Jeremiah Cooter. You can blame that on health. Whatever you want to blame it on. We didn't have firepower last season. We should have beat a lot of teams that we didn't because we held them down. We just couldn't score for ourselves. So last season, looking at the Rams game, that's a prime example that the Detroit Lions are similar to the Patriots. It works, right? It works. What Matt Patricia is bringing works. Like, you could just watch on the field during games, certain things that he would do. The way he was blitzing linebackers like Jared Davis and putting up stats that he never put up before sack-wise. Never Jared Davis was putting up these sacks. The year before Matt Patricia came here, Jared Davis wasn't doing this stuff. You can just look certain ways that Matt Patricia would play defensively, where he would just kind of set everybody back, and the quarterback would just stand there. And it was like, okay, he's been in the pocket for like 5 seconds. What is he going to do? Someone has to be open. But there was never anybody open because we had like 8 guys standing back there. I'm not sure how it works sometimes, but it worked. Matt Patricia knew what he was doing. And now offensively, we should see that same type of change that we see from the New England Patriots. Now, don't get me wrong. We're not the New England Patriots. We don't have a guy named Tom Brady. We don't have Bill Belichick. You could say, you know, your easiest argument against this video could say, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. Okay, if you want to make that argument, make that argument. The fact is, we have 1 year under Matt Patricia. You could say that the Patriots always own that division, but they're really playing the Jets, the Bills, and the Dolphins. Like, let's be honest here. It's not a great division. A lot of times they can easily win the division. So that could be your argument against the Patriots. Either way, though, they have success in the playoffs. So I'm not trying to make an argument to say the Patriots aren't great. That's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm just basically saying the Detroit Lions are like forming into a Patriot, you know, type of thingy. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm not sure what this is. But anyways, you guys know what I mean. The Detroit Lions are similar to the Patriots. They may be the next Patriots. Hopefully we can see some of that success that the Patriots have had because they've been the best team in the NFL. This like last 10 years for the Patriots has been their league. It literally has been their league. So hopefully we can find some of the success. Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you, Pride, for watching, and I'm out.